Good afternoon, all. We are now going to start the session. So, without any further delay, let me introduce to you the resource person for today's session, Mr. Remani Vallabh EVK. Mr. Remani Vallabh is an MBA from IIM Ranchi with majors in marketing, and he has been associated with Capgemini for the summer internship program, and that is where he has got a lot of insight into the world of digital marketing, which he has come to share with us today. Vallabh also, he is an educated engineer with interest in marketing and strategy. He has experience in working in internet business at tech companies and IT giants. He has also a few laurels to his credit, like the Gold Tier in Mahindra War Room. He's also the campus winner of Flipkart Beard. He's also the campus finalist in Nestle 4Ps. And during his tenure at IIM Ranchi, he was also the member of the placements committee, which was playing a very crucial role in getting the students placed. And over to you, Vallabh, without any further ado, because we have got a lot to learn from you today. So I request you to conduct the session from now on. Thank you.
So good evening, everyone. Thank you, Subhash, for the introduction. And just so that I'm making everything clear, can somebody just say if my voice is clear or not? Just maybe a few chats, messages.
Yeah.
Information. Right. Thank you, Siana. So, like Subhash has already mentioned, I am a member of Phoenix Club as well, Phoenix Global. I am a member of the board, and I'll be conducting today's session on digital marketing. In the past 5 sessions that you would have gone through as part of this digital marketing course, you would have gone through some basic marketing concepts. So what I'm doing in today's session is that I'll be building on those concepts, and I'll be introducing to you a few tools that digital marketers across the world use. So the tools that I'll be introducing to you today, Gayatri Sync and audio distortion. Just a second, Gayatri. Let me see if there's some issue from my end. I've tried improving the volume, and again, going back to what I was previously discussing, I'll be using this session to introduce a few tools to all of you. So tools that I had come across as part of my internship with Gemini as a digital marketing intern. So that is where I had come across a few free tools. So let me give you a disclaimer here. The tools that I will be introducing to you today are mostly free. So you will be this session. There are alternatives to this, which I will be introducing to you as well, but they're paid. So you roughly have to pay around $10 to $15 a month to access those better performance, but you'll also have to shell in a lot of money. So for this session's sake, I'm using free tools, but you're free to go explore those tools later on at different points of time. Tell you, I was introduced to these tools, I had a lot of aha moments. So there were different insights about different companies that really interested me. When I looked at such a statistic, it really stuck my head and I felt really interested. So as part of this course, or as part of this particular session, I hope that I will be introducing these tools to you, and I hope that you have similar experiences as well. Right? Okay, so just give me time to land. Before we even go into the tools that we'll be using for today, I just want you to take a moment to appreciate the role of a digital marketer. Regardless of the kind of job role that you would want to pursue going forward, I think a digital marketing skill is essential, and it will actually help you really well. So let me give you a few examples. Let's say you're an entrepreneur, right? You come up with, beautiful products and services that you want to sell to your target audience. Now, let us say you generate revenue if you're able to sell these products online. So first of all, because you do not have a lot of, so let us say, for example, you are a fitness company and you've come up with a great app with a great interface, exercises, motivational factors, and things like that. You have an app that you think if your audience knows about you, they'll actually come buy from you month after month, year after year. You know this for a fact. But now comes the bigger problem. You've developed the application for yourself. But for a potential customer to come in, what is the route that he wishes to choose to explore apps for himself? So, for example, somebody is stuck in a lockdown. He wishes to pursue fitness activities. Where does he go? Typically open a Google search console and type in something like fitness applications, top fitness applications, or some variation of this particular keyword. What will end up happening is that your name would not come anywhere in the first search engine results page. So think about the search engine results page. Nowhere there on the first page. You're not on the second, third, fourth, not there. And according to statistics, it is known that close to 80% of the search traffic is taken or it is absorbed by the first three links on the first search engine results page. So try landing up just on the first search engine results page, but you're the fifth or sixth search engine result, you don't get in enough traffic. You don't get in traffic, you don't get the revenue. So regardless of how great of a product, we'll still probably have to close shop and then give up this particular entrepreneurial dream of ours. But however, if you had digital marketing skills, so for example, if you knew how to do search engine optimization, you followed a step-by-step procedure to improve your rankings on the search results page. So you would have moved from the fifth page to the fourth, to the third, then to the first page, and you would move yourself to that first spot. So spot number one, that is where you can actually go, and then you'll start getting in the traffic. People will start coming in, they'll start looking at your product, they'll start buying from you, and then you have a profitable business. That's the first case. When you're an entrepreneur, you have a great product, but you want the customers to come in, digital marketing can help. Case number two, let's say you're working for a big tech company, for example, a big e-commerce company, for example. You know your biggest competition is Amazon. And these big companies typically pay close to 20 to 25 lakhs per annum for a digital marketing manager role. To me. So Vallabh is now a new digital marketing manager at Flipkart. Again, the question comes, what am I expected to do as part of my role there? So how is the 20 to 25 lakhs that the company is paying? I need to show that I'm able to generate very high results for the company for them to even continue considering me for this particular position. Right? Thing has to happen. What can I do? What can I as a digital marketer do? Think about the metrics that a company like Flipkart or an Amazon would have. They would want you typically to bring in the web page. So if they're currently having 100 million visitors on the web page, if you can come in and because of the work that you have done, if you're able to generate 120 million visitors on their website, if, for example, if their conversion rate for every 100 people coming in, if 2 people were finally buying some product, if you, because of some sort of variations that you do to the website layout, structure and things like that, if you're able to convert 4 people for it, that's a 100% increase in the number of buying customers. If you can show this particular result to your company, you'd be very, very happy because your company would love your services and they would want you to go ahead. They'll keep giving you better and better positions as you go ahead in your career. So again, a digital marketing skill, the ability to analyze your data and your competitors' data. So how would you know that for every 4 people converting is a good metric or not? How do you know 4 is enough? How do you know you can't go to 6, for example? One possible method would be to benchmark against your competition. If you knew that Amazon is your biggest competition and there's still 4 when you were doing 2, you understand that maybe Amazon's doing something better than you because of which this conversion rate is higher. You understand that there's some problem here and then you go about doing something to solve this particular problem. So here, your digital marketing skills have helped you improve the performance of a financial company, or I'm sorry, of an e-commerce company like a Flipkart. Right? This is the second point that I have. And finally, the case, just give me a second, Subhash. I think there's one issue that I have to.
Sure, yes.
the kind of contribution that you can do to a firm like a Flipkart. But nonetheless, any technology company, almost every single company these days is a technology company. So digital marketing skills will help you regardless of where you are. And finally, favorite use case of them all, you're an independent freelancer. So you are a digital marketing freelancer. So you don't associate yourself with any one particular company. You have different sorts of companies. You work from home, you produce results, and you get the money. So there are no costs to you. You don't have to go to a place. You can work from the comfort of your house, things like that. But you still continue making money. So a company like Phoenix Global will come to you and say, "Hey, Vallabh, I know that you're a great digital marketing guy. We do not have digital marketing specialists in our company, but we know what digital channel. We want to reach the whole of India. We want you to help us achieve this particular dream of ours." That's what they tell you, and then they walk off. Your job, they do pay you well for this particular assignment that they're giving. They don't tell you how you go about doing it. Right? You have this lucrative scenario right in front of you. You know what success looks like in this particular scenario. That is, if you can improve the traffic and if you can improve the number happening, you know that you're a success. Right? But the problem here is you don't even know what is the step-by-step procedure that you can actually follow to achieve this particular goal. So that's what I'll try to cover in this particular session. A few use cases, right? I'll be using this two cases. One is where you're working for a big technology company, and I'll be explaining one tool. Then I'll move on to this particular independent freelancer. So if a company like Phoenix Global comes to you and deliver on some of their project objectives, how do you go about doing it? So I'll be sharing my screen now, and I'll be walking you through the tools that are used. So once you have them, you can, after the session, I would definitely encourage you to go and look at other different competitors to these websites. So the first one I'll be talking about is called a website, Similar Web, right? Similar Web is the first site that I'm going to talk about. You can go ahead after the session, start searching for the other things as well. So just give me a minute before I can start sharing my screen. Subhash, if you yeah, right.
Yes, Vallabh, tell me.
No. You were sharing the screen, so I was not able to. I think it's better now.
Yeah.
Okay. So are people able to look at my screen?
Yes, Vallabh, we are.
Just a second. Okay, great. So the first thing that the first tool that I'm trying to talk to you about is a website called Web. So let's give you a small description before even I start talking about it. Let me try explaining what this does. So Similar Web gives you website traffic statistics and market intelligence. So basically, you traffic using Similar Web's digital marketing intelligence platform. You can compare any website traffic statistics and analytics. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that if you're a Flipkart, Amazon is not going to it will not be telling you the number of visitors that visit their page, their conversion rates, the channels through which they acquire their customers. They're not going to tell you any of it. But there are tools like Similar Web that will help you get in the direction in which they are. And let me give you a disclaimer here. These numbers are reasonably accurate. So you cannot say that these numbers are correct to a T, but the direction in which they're going give you very good metrics. Let me get into this website first. So this is a free tool, so you don't have to pay anything for this. Again, considering the fact that I am a Flipkart, I would like to do research. I would like to have a competition of my biggest competition, that is Amazon. And as we know, as a Flipkart, my target market is India in particular, but Amazon has its presence around the world. So out of this, Amazon.in, however, is basically targeted towards Indian audience. So that's what I'll be typing here. Analyze any website or app, you simply type in amazon.in. It'll give you a lot of prompts for what sorts of websites you want to track. I simply click this particular tab here, and this is the first screen that I want to share with you. And I hope that this gives you your first aha moment, right? So some sort of statistics, analytics overview about this particular company, founded here, Bangalore. The are registered under that particular company. You see it here. You also see the global rank of the firm, the country rank. So in terms of popularity, in terms of website traffic, which firm, so Amazon comes at the 20th position. You understand that in category rank, e-commerce in shopping, it comes at the 31st rank. So let me tell you how you try to do it. First, the traffic overview. Let us look at these this engagement metrics very quickly here. So here, very quickly, you can see that the total visits to Amazon's website in this particular month. So whatever numbers that are being showed here are per month metrics. So you see that there are 1.9 million total visits that Amazon has got in this particular month. And this particular number right here in red, it's saying 52.86%. What this means is that there has been a 52.86% drop in the number of people who come, who visit Amazon's website. And it sounds logical, because right now we're having this COVID-19 pandemic, because of which all sorts of e-commerce operations have been halted. So there's no purchase, there's no delivery. That's why people are going live. Second, this particular statistic of average visit duration. So what this basically means is every time a user comes onto Amazon's webpage, this is averaged out over 109.9 million users who are coming onto this platform. So average duration, that the time that somebody spends on this platform is 3 minutes and 58 seconds. So as a company, the logic for any company other than Google, I'll tell you why again later. The average visit duration is a very good metric to understand. So the basic logic here is that more time your customer spends on your platform, the more likelihood there is that he actually purchases from your platform. So if you look at brand hierarchy, the number of people who come in, the website traffic, out of which there's a funnel. A far fewer number of people actually navigate to different different pages on your site, and far fewer will actually make. So when you look 3 minutes, 58 seconds, you understand that around 4 minutes. So anyone who comes into the website, on an average, 4 minutes are spent on that particular platform. It gives you a nice insight. You can put, so Flipkart can analyze its own traffic by putting its website here, comparing it site to site. So if Flipkart finds out that on an average, people are coming onto the platform, if Flipkart's average, for example, is only 2 minutes, to know that there's something wrong with its platform, that somebody's visiting Amazon for 4 minutes, but they're only coming for 2.5 minutes. So they understand that they have to do something to the website to ensure that people stay ahead for longer, because that's a metric that you can actually match. That's the second metric that you typically track. Third is pages per visit. So basically the logic of this is that when you come onto a homepage, purchase doesn't happen on the homepage. There are different pages for each product that you have. So pages per visit are the number of pages that a customer goes through in one typical session. So 4.81. And the logic here is again that more the number of pages that are being visited, more interested you would want. So you would want that your customers visit more of your pages in every particular session. And finally, this particular bounce rate, this metric basically talks about how many people have come on page of your application, but without navigating to any other page, they went back. So you would have had this experience where you were there on Google search, you searched for something, you went into the first link, but you did not find it relevant for some reason. It is because the navigation is very difficult, or maybe you thought it is not the product that you were looking for. So you go back. So you visit the homepage and you go back. So when I say the bounce rate is 48. Close to 50% of the traffic that comes into the Amazon website is going without even looking at different products. So this is one very worrying metric for an e-commerce company like Amazon. So you can actually say, use this particular bounce rate, because it takes a lot of effort to get traffic onto your website. And if people are leaving your website without even going to the other pages, it's a huge loss for you. And by doing some small modifications, for example, navigation around your page simple and easy for your customers, the bounce rate may come down. So you do test with, a lot of A/B testing. So I'll give you a few more sites where you can do this sort of testing. But the point, you can do some, you can see what sort of interfaces you can give different interfaces to different groups of people and see the bounce rate in both the application styles, and you can retain that which has a lower bounce rate. That way you're converting more number of people. So the point is, in a typical sales funnel, it's always like this, where you have the highest number of people who are visiting your website, and it keeps going down as you keep going down the hierarchy. So lesser and lesser people who are actually coming to buy your product. If you can do something to try and move this particular funnel in this particular way, you'll be getting a lot more. So the conversion from one stage to the other will be a lot more if you can do some sort of a change to your website. So this is some overview, but I'll also try to give you a little more understanding of what this is. So the total visits, and this is tracking it over 6 months. So as a Flipkart or as Amazon itself, you would know, okay, so let's say January, roughly my traffic has been around 300 million. I've been getting 300 million users coming onto my platform every single day. But then even before March, so March to 2020, officially in India, we had this panic of COVID-19. But even before that, you would see that the traffic has been reducing. So it went from 300 million, so close to 250, again 230 million. So even if COVID-19 wasn't there, if you are a digital marketing manager at Amazon, this should worry you. The fact that the number of users who are coming onto your websites is going down, you're supposed to do something to ensure that the graph goes further up. But right now, because there are no sales, nothing at all, the total number of visits has come down to 109.9 million. So although it says 58 million right now, you were at 300 million just in January 2020. That's a huge 200 million drop, and you have to do something about it and get back your users, right? First metric. Second, although it doesn't seem relevant, you understand that for Amazon.in, 85.25% of the entire traffic is coming from India. Again, there has been reductions across, but because this web page can be activated from across the world, you would know that 85.25% of the traffic is coming from India, which is fine. Basically, you understand that this is your target market, and therefore this is where you're supposed to focus your marketing efforts as well. The other people may not spending on them. You're not trying to get them. This is a third interesting metric here. So traffic sources. So if people are visiting your website on a desktop, you're trying to find out the kind of sources through which people are actually coming to websites. And here you can see the different sources through which people actually come. So first, you see direct. So what direct means is that people don't search anywhere. If I have a product in mind, for example, if I have to buy a water bottle, what do? I don't search for a water bottle on Google. I will simply type in Amazon.in, because that I know that this is where I want to purchase my product. So that is what direct means. So out of the entire traffic of 100 million that they have, 50% of their entire traffic is direct. That is, people type in Amazon.in and then browse. What this means for a company like Flipkart is that there is no way you can change this. So what this means is brand awareness. Top of the mind recall of Amazon is this high. The fact that 50% of the traffic is directly typing in Amazon.in into the address bar, the brand recall is very high. So a company like Flipkart may have to start thinking about how they can improve their brand recall and brand awareness. This is the first one. Second, referrals. So referrals basically mean different websites linking to you. So sometimes you have these coupon.com and theyseme.com. These are different websites which gives you referral codes. So there you can use the URL, then you come to Amazon's website. So what it's saying is 2.76% of the entire traffic coming through these channels. So as a digital marketing manager, you would know that if you know that for your competition, a good amount of traffic is coming through referrals, then you probably collaborate with these places that are providing these. If you know, for example, social is basically YouTube, Facebook, and things like. And if you see that for Amazon, if a lot of traffic is coming through social, 4.84% is coming through social, it means that there are probably a lot of YouTubers putting affiliate links to you to Amazon. And that way, you're not able to capture into this particular segment. People who are interested in buying, they probably go to these review sites on YouTube, and because of the link that they have there, they're straight away visiting Amazon's website. So this is a potential target segment who have a very high probability of conversion. So you understand that. Then again, there are different metrics. So when you go back, you have your Google console. You can know the conversion by. You know that in social, people who come through YouTube have a high conversion rate. That is, higher percentage of people who come through YouTube are actually buying. Then probably you can collaborate with these YouTube influencers, give them a little more incentive than what Amazon is giving, or do anything of that sort, and get the traffic for yourself. So that way you're investing your marketing budget into places which are actually giving you a very high return on investment. So that's what we're trying to look at here. Social is there. Mail is basically the mailing email campaigns that try to keep coming up, that you have a mail, you get a link to purchase some product. Just give me a second. Right. And finally, okay, search is something that's very interesting. Search is basically on a Bing search engine. When people type in the product that they want, so if I'm trying to look for shoes, when I type in Nike shoes, for example, if Amazon is coming up high there and I'm clicking on that, so this search is basically saying that out of the entire traffic that Amazon is getting, 40.87% are coming in through this search. So you may understand that the implications this would have for a company like Flipkart is that they may have to up their SEO game, where there can be the link that comes above Amazon in the search results. People can click on you and you will have a higher conversion. Maybe it's also about SEM, for example, where you can invest in those advertisements that come above your basic search results. You can invest in that because a good amount of traffic is coming from there and you want to capture this traffic. You want to take this traffic from your competition and ensure that it's getting you more revenue for your company. Display is basically the display advertisements that partner websites. So a lot of blogs, a lot of different websites do get into this Google AdSense network, where they keep getting a small part of the revenue from Google. That's the Google advertising network. Your ad goes there and they end up coming onto your website. Right? There's a further drill down of this available here. So of this referrals as well, of the referrals, you understand top referring websites. So here has 11.66 out of the traffic that's coming from referrals. 11.66% is coming from Amazon.com. What it means is that the international site Amazon.com is redirecting a lot of users to Amazon.com. It's again sounds logical because you would have had the experience where you tried searching for a product, you found that product, for example, a book on the Amazon.com page because it was a link that you came in, and then it recognized your location to be India and asked you to redirect to Amazon.in. So that's probably one source. You could not do, as a Flipkart, you could not do a lot more about that. You may have to understand what locate.apple.com is. So what source is that? Where is it coming from? So Prime Video. So it means some sort of a movement is happening when people are going on to Amazon Prime, the Prime Video. Maybe there are some links to this particular website, Amazon.in, from where they come. Audible, again, there are a lot of links. So Amazon.co.in. The point is, you can obviously search 995 more. The idea is you try to find out the websites that are actually referring to Amazon. If some of them are not Amazon owned, or Amazon doesn't have an affiliation, you can probably reach out to these people who are referring to Amazon and try capturing that market share for yourself. So that's the kind of insight you can derive from a place like this. Again, in terms of the search results, 40.87% we discussed out of the entire traffic that they're getting, 40.87% is from search. out of that, you see this very interesting metric that the entire search also 99.27, close to 100 of their traffic is actually coming through organic search. So Amazon was not paying for this. People actually probably typed in keywords like Amazon. So sometimes you don't know the name of the website. So you simply type in Amazon on the Google search engine, you go. So that's the reason why Amazon is up here. Amazon India, Amazon.in, the websites like this. So the point is 99.27% of this entire traffic is organic. They're not paying for it. And this is huge. So without any sort of an investment into cost, they're able to get the traffic from themselves. And 0.73% is paid. And what are the kind of things that they're paying for? So Amazon has been very smart. You don't bid for every single keyword. You can see here that Amazon has probably 1+8 because they understand that this is a product that has a good margin. And if they can actually convert a potential customer, the returns that they get. So for example, if I was selling a 10 rupee water bottle, or 100 rupee, cost of the advertisement for me is 50 rupees because of the competition that I have to face. And the percentage conversion is so low that if net I'm paying 100 rupees to get one customer and the cost of me or the revenue is 100 rupees, it's not profitable. And I'm talking about revenue here. It's not even the profit margin. Even if the profit margin was 100, you're just breaking even. It's not a logical thing to do. So you understand here that Amazon has built 1+8. What it means that 1+8 is an expensive product that if a customer buys from them, they'll actually make a good amount of profit to offset the money that they put into marketing for this particular keyword. Something that you can look at the product categories that give you that sort of a return and bid on them. All these things will actually be covered by Subhash and other digital marketing faculty in future sessions. But for now, have this rough idea that you can do search engine marketing. But the point is, because traffic is not much, you may decide not to do it as well. So the implications or the recommendations that you give are your own, but the data is here for you to see. That you actually generate from this are your own. Like I again said, 4.84% of the traffic is from social. So you understand that YouTube is the biggest referral. So if you're trying to run marketing campaigns, you understand that these places are giving you less traffic, that investing money into it is probably not the best use of your time. So YouTube gives you a lot. Therefore, you as a person may decide to go to YouTube, give it a fight. Or sometimes you may also understand that Facebook is giving us 5.68% returns. Fighting with Amazon on YouTube for referrals might be a more difficult task. So let me look at this particular blue ocean of Facebook and try seeing whether I can find influencers there on a place like Facebook or Twitter, so that I can actually, so combined, if the spend that I have to do on a Facebook plus Twitter is far lesser than YouTube, and it's giving me a 7% conversion, 7% of the traffic, if the cost is less than that, why not? Because it's always difficult. Or if you're a very small brand, you may never be able to compete with an Amazon. In that cases, you decide to go about this. Obviously, there are always see more options. So when you're actually exploring this self, I do encourage you to go ahead, click on these links, try understanding what all this is about. Again, display advertising, like I simply said, they see dime. I think this is a, this is a best deals and coupon. So YouTube's also has these banner ads. That's why they're
इस जन्म का बदला ले रही बेटा.
second, this is another interesting metric that you see here. Increase interests. So for people who come onto Amazon.com, you always want to know what the top selling products are. You want to know which of their products are actually getting the traffic. So you understand that a majority of the traffic here computer electronics and technology. So like we already know, like it would sound logical to you because in your past as well, go back to your history, majority of our purchases have probably been electronics. Either it's the mobile, the accessories that come along with it. That's what is also being reflected on a larger scale here. So you understand, news and media is probably books and things like that. I really don't know what adult means. I'll have to go and explore this. Also visited websites is obviously some sort of competition, people who go on from here. But here is a word cloud that tries to give you a rough idea about who is typing for what. So India, online, news, things like that. That's what you're doing. So as a Flipkart, this much analysis, this is a very, I have been able to cover this in such short time. I think around 10 minutes. I think I've been able to cover the entire thing, but I think you can go a lot on this. You can do the same with other competitive websites, right? With this, I'll come to the end of my first part. So the part where I try explaining through a big competition. Now I'll try moving on to the second place where you are a digital marketing consultant. For example, you are a freelancer. A company like Phoenix Global comes to you. They say, hey Vallabh, can you do something for me? Can you improve these digital marketing metrics for me? Right? Just give me a second. I've written this down somewhere. Right. Now, before we get in, there's one real code. So like I already mentioned, Phoenix Global, if you search for the current products and services that Phoenix Global currently offers, if somebody types in the let's say, for example, Android app development course, it may not come up in the first search engine results page. So the goal of the company will be to come up in the paid rankings. And let me tell you, given post-COVID-19 scenario, you can obviously have either organic traffic or paid traffic coming to your website, but a lot less people would actually be interested in paid traffic because it will cost them. They don't want to use that channel. So always having your skill set where you can improve traffic organically, that will be very, very valuable to you, right? So this gets me, what do you do about it? So there's one very interesting quote that I came across in preparation for this particular session. So here it goes. There's a quote by a person called Jim Rohn. He was you can go search him up later. What he says is this: success leaves clues. Be a better observer of the winners and losers, those who do well and those who are falling behind. Take mental notes and say, I'm going to adjust what I'm doing based on what I see. So why I'm trying to tell you this is basically have a product of it's a very similar product to you, but he's ranking high up there. He's the person your entire traffic is going to. So what if you can try understanding every single marketing strategy that your competition is using, understand it and do better than him. So if you understand that he is solving some of your customers' problems, you understand what your customers' problems are and solve them better than him. But again, this would be a great approach. If you can do it consistently, it will take some time, but your website will definitely keep coming up the organic hierarchy. But how do you do this? Station is not going to tell you about the blogs that get in the highest traffic and things like that. Before I actually get into this, I want to give you a slightly different perspective of how I look at the marketing. So you would have gone through this particular channel of AIDA model, the sales process where, attention, interest, desire, and finally action. That's the stages that a customer has to go through before he actually makes a purchase and contributes to your revenue. I have another way of looking at it. That's one definite metric. I have another way of looking at it. I would say first is brand awareness, followed purchase intention, followed by an actual purchase. So what I'm saying is essentially that first people have to be aware that you exist. So if a person is not aware of you, he can never purchase. So you'll have the universal set where people are aware of you. That is called awareness, brand awareness. Out of that, only certain people will actually have the intention to purchase from you. So maybe they're going through your website. They'll say, oh, I want to do something this. But then purchase intention will not always convert into an actual purchase. So for example, you may not have the financial resources to actually make the purchase right now. But purchase intention itself is a very, very important metric that we want to capture and that we want to look at. Because once you have the purchase intention, when the person has enough trust and enough resources to actually invest in you, that purchase intention will actually convert into a final purchase and be contributing to your revenue. But again, how would you know? How would you know what's working for your competition and what's not? So here's where I would like to introduce the second tool to you, which is called as Uber Suggest, right? This is a tool that is developed by a digital marketer called Neil Patel. He's sort of a big deal in this particular space where all digital marketers use this sort of a tool. This is a free tool, and let me let you know a little more about it. Right? So Phoenix Global comes to you. What do you say? First, you try to find out the kind of services that Phoenix Global is trying to offer. So let us say, for example, I have an Android app development course. So Phoenix Global has an Android app that it wants to sell to the customers. I need to understand. So if my customers have to find me, what they would do is they would actually go do a Google search, app development course. So let me do that for you. I'm going to Google. I'm saying Android app development course, right? Let me type in Android app development course. Okay, you see some very clear. But you also understand. So I'll just skip Google's and Coursera's and Udacity's, the big players. Let me say Simply Learn is one site which gets in a lot of traffic. So it's coming in the third, fourth position. But I think you can have a good amount of traffic. So let me click in, because this is the competitor that I want to beat. What if I can learn what he is currently doing and then apply it to myself, apply it to my company. So let me test. So again, let me give you a small brief description. It helps you generate keyword ideas for your content marketing strategy and production. You can, so with this tool, you can generate unlimited number of keywords and get keywords. Let me just go through this and show it in a little more detail. Right? Let me first capture this particular website. That this is the link that I'm trying to compete against. This is the interface. Enter a domain or keyword. This is where I'm going to type in my competition, and I'm trying to find out the traffic. So this basically here is talking about the country that you want to monitor. So I'm saying India, because I want to sell my services in India. I want to see which of India's traffic is actually going to the website. It'll take a few seconds. So before this comes up, I'll tell you, this section analyzer is basically to monitor your competition. So this simplylearn.com, the website that I gave you, these three tabs will give you an understanding of what your competition is doing. And this particular section of Uber Suggest, overview, keyword ideas, and content ideas, this is if you were a competition, what could you do, right? This is where. First, traffic analyzer overview. So first point is for this particular domain, simplylearn.com, you see that the organic keywords that it is competing for is a whopping 4,38,000 keywords. So what this means is for 4,38,000 keywords, if you type into Google search, Simply Learn is probably figuring out there. So Simply Learn is there the top for these many keywords. Not only Android app development, it's there. So it's amazing. So it also gives you some idea of what this number is. It's amazing. And the traffic, because this is so amazing, the organic monthly traffic, because the organic monthly traffic that they're getting is 7,81,000. This is again amazing. If you can get this much amount of traffic onto your website, you can, because again, percentages will convert, you can definitely see a big increase in the number of people who are actually purchasing from you. Domain score is basically an indication of how much Google thinks they are, authorities in their space. So it's basically a strength of a website, and it gives you an indication of how good they are. Right? Backlinks, so all these things will be explained to you in further sessions by Subhash. First, this traffic estimate. So this is something that is similar to the Similar Web metric, where it is giving you traffic. But the point is, Similar Web cannot capture all sorts of websites. So slightly smaller websites, Similar Web doesn't track. So Neil Patel's website does a better job at doing this particular thing. You see the traffic that's been changing. And as we understand, for e-learning sort of portals, we were expecting an increase in the number of people who are coming up. And you can also see this particular thing here. You see that the traffic has been increasing as months keep going. Second, SEO rating. I'll try explaining this. It's not extremely important, but this is something that's very, very interesting and important. So out of the traffic that India gives to this particular website, simplylearn.com, what if we can find out that content piece that is actually getting in their traffic? So what is that particular web page or the product offering or the blog post that is getting in a huge percentage of the traffic? If you can understand, you can just build that. So this is something like a Pareto principle, where you concentrate on the best working aspects of your competitor, build that with far lesser resources, and then do far better than them. So you'll get 80% results with 20% of the effort. So here you see the SEO titled URL. So first thing it says is, out of the entire Simply Learn platform, digital marketing course. So digital marketing course is the one that is getting them the highest amount of traffic onto this website. You can click on it, you can understand what that's doing. But you know that out of the entire traffic they're getting, 42,000 number of people are actually coming onto this particular site alone. So if you had to come up with new offering ideas, you would know that digital marketing is something that we have to get into, right? So this gives you an estimate. Backlinks again is how many people are actually referring to your website. That's something that you'll have to build up over time. And you understand that this is some sort of a shareable content. So this particular page, etc., has been shared on Facebook 17,737 times. So it's kind of gone viral, and that is probably the reason why it has so much of traffic. So if you can build such products which actually can get viral, you don't have to spot their marketing efforts. Second, you can get content ideas from them as well. So here you see 8 top technology trends for 2019 jobs they'll create. So this is something that is getting them the second highest. So if you wanted to come up with the blog post ideas, so if Phoenix Global had to come up with blog post ideas, they would know that this is something that people actually care about. So the beautiful part of doing this particular research is that you don't put in time into building content that nobody will see. Before building that there is an audience for this particular sort of information, and then you go ahead and build this information, right? And therefore you know the kind of post that they've done. You try understanding what they've done. Then you go back. Yeah. So the point is this, that you simply go to the website, see the kind of answers that they've given, the way that they've approached this particular topic, and try improve on that. Given top 10 skills, they've given top 8 skills, you can probably come with the top 10 skills. Maybe you can give your users more value by linking to some certain other blogs which give them a little more information. So by doing all this, by giving them in formats that is downloadable, for example, by giving them infographics. So here you see a lot of plain text. This may be irritating to some of their users. What if you could come up with an infographic that conveyed all this information? By doing things like this, where you understand that there is for that, you do it better than your competition, your traffic is set to increase, right? So that way you would understand. So although I told here, you could go specifically to the top pages website, you would know the posts that are, so you would know a little more online certification for online professionals. So there is some explainer. This is an explainer video, data science versus big data. So you know that this is something. And if it is one product that you are offering, you can start building content on this as well. Get in content experts and ask them to build this sort of content for you. Now that this particular thing is, so this is again the keywords that they're ranking for. So although people might have come to the page where digital marketing, what are people actually typing in? So when they have the Google search, what are they actually typing into the browser to come to this particular page? You get an estimate. So you know that people are typing in data analytics. Search volume is 74,000 searches per month. So these many people are capturing or are asking about data analytics, something about data analytics. And if you can understand this, that there's so much search volume for this, and you start contributing to this particular space, you can capture a part of this for yourself. Searching for a digital marketing course. And therefore, what you do basically in SEO, in essence, is you try to use these sort of keywords that people are using for as part of your blog post, as part of your content pages. When you keep doing this, the search engine algorithm will try to find relevance to what the user is searching. So what you're basically doing is you're building a product that your user is already searching for. And therefore, the search engine's job is to connect two people really well, and they'll find your website and thereby improving the traffic that you're getting. More and more people as a result of this will actually have awareness of your brand, and over time they'll start switching on to, so after reading your blogs for some time, they'll start building trust and they'll start looking at your product offerings. So that's where, you know, purchase intention comes in. And the more purchase intention there is, the higher the likelihood to actually purchase. So doing this roughly, you would have ideas for what you you can try going in for some keyword ideas yourself. So there might be a few keywords that your competition is not currently tracking, because your competition, although it is in a similar space, might not be offering the same things that you are currently offering. So you put good ideas. I think it's taking a little bit of time. When it loads, you would know the keyword ideas that, and this also gives you the point where it will give you the traffic that each keyword is getting. Like I showed you in the previous tab, it will show you that this particular keyword is getting this much. So you try keeping a tab of all these keywords and try coming up with content that can get in this sort of a tab, right? I think some sort of content ideas. So I do encourage you to go back and explore this section a lot more when you go ahead in the future. Right? This is the second section where you actually understand what your competition is doing, do it better than them, and get the traffic to yourself. As simple as that. Thereby, you're trying to improve your brand awareness, improve your purchase intention, and actually improve your purchases for the client that you're working. The second piece. Now, I just want to come in here and talk about another tool, which I will not be explaining as part of this particular lecture. I think that running a little short on time. So there's a Chrome extension called Keywords Everywhere. So let me just Keywords Everywhere. Right? There is this extension called Keywords. There is an extension, and I think they have an extension for Firefox browser as well. So what this basically does is, whenever you're searching for any term here on the search console itself, on the right, it will start showing you the traffic that that particular word is getting. So you sense of anything you're doing, it's already there. You don't have to go specifically and search for it. I suggest and I encourage you to go install this plugin for some time, play with it, and then probably uninstall a little later. Right? Now, thing is done, get the traffic to your website. What do? The second part of this entire journey is actually converting better. So for every 100 people you get in, if you're able to only convert 2, the underlying premise here is this, that if your conversion rate is low to get, so for example, if I'm selling 2 products for every 100 people who are coming in, if my goal is to sell 4 products, I'll have to get in 200 units of traffic to actually meet my this particular result goal. And getting 200 customers is very difficult, because at that particular stage, the absolute number that you'll have to get in is a lot more, and the marketing expenses are that much considerably high. So it is always more useful to work on converting better. So for every 100, if instead of 2, if you do some changes to your website and convert 4 instead of 2, what you essentially do is, if you're spending money in converting 100 to 200, you'll end up making from 4 to 8. So you essentially have a 4 times increase in the number of people who are buying from you. So efforts will multiply if you can do this part of the equation. Now, how do you find good copy? How do you find out the kind of language that people like? You can be a creative person yourself, experiment. But a better thing would be to keep tab on your competition, try to understand what they're doing, and do it good or better than them. So you try understanding the website layout structure, how they've given the navigation. You try to see the kind of language that they've used to attract. And how do you do that again? You cannot keep track. So companies typically have this particular, and again, so you would have, if you had used Facebook recently, you would understand that they're that structure again. Why are they basically doing it? Basically because customers, after a point of time, will get bored with your previous interface and they'll start leaving you. So your monthly traffic, if your previous interface was giving you a good month traffic, often people get bored and move ahead. And therefore, you'll have to continuously keep making changes to your interface, which is again good to ensure that you continue having that particular traffic that you got previously. How do you do that? How do you monitor your competitions? There's another app that's called crayon.co, right? Crayon.co. This is opening up the website. So crayon.co, I'll give you a small description here. It's a market competitive intelligence tool that provides a 360-degree view of your competitors' activity on a single dashboard. So what it basically does is keep time-wise history of what your competitors have been doing, the changes to their webpage at different points of time. Right? Let me just, Subhash, do I have time Can I log in and show them this?
Yes,
Or
Vallabh,
do you
please go ahead. Yeah.
just log in with LinkedIn for now? Crayon.co, that is the website that we're trying to look for. Can I go back? But just one caveat here is that, again, sometimes you will not be getting the sites that you're trying to look for. I already. So for example, if I was there and as a education website, if these are the 4 big competitors that I want to track: Coursera, Swarkit, Udacity, Udemy, and for example, if I Udacity, Udemy, and I track, let's say, if I'm in a similar space, I would have tracked for edX.com. That's or yeah. Okay. Here is edX. So these are basically education websites. Now I'll go back to my feed. So what this feed basically does is it will start giving me intelligence into what my competition is continuously doing. The point is I don't have to go each and individual competitor's website to see what they're doing. I can get one quick overview here about with timelines about what I can come to this one interface and see what my people are doing. So I know that Coursera has launched this particular well-being by COVID-19. If this was a competition of ours, okay. So this is a blog post that they've written. Udemy has come up with a YouTube video. So they said skill up with Udemy. So there's something. So this is something that I can go on. I can link to this. I find out what is actually happening. Udacity 18 years ago came up with a blog post which is called "What does a growth product manager do?" If this is something that we are offering our services in, then definitely we need to go back, see the trailer, blog post is getting, and if it's getting in good amount of traffic, this can become a nice blog post idea for us as well. We can get in our flavors, our ideas, come up with a similar product, and then share. We can expect an. So the point is this: that you simply can go through the different, the things that all my competition is doing at one place. You'll also have an understanding about what they're doing, so that you don't lag behind, that you are there along with them. Right? Just give me another second. Subhash, can I take 5 more minutes? I have one last tool,
Yes, yes.
which is probably not for competitive analysis, but it's a little fun. So I'll
Please go
share
ahead.
that as well. Okay, so give me a second. Right. So this particular tool is called as Social Blade. I do not know how many of you would have gone through it, but the basic is also if your competitor is coming up with YouTube videos, and so for example, a company like Edureka, etc., they do come up with YouTube videos quite often. So if you want to track your you getting, how much traffic they're getting. So for example, again, this is a very simple metric that if I can find out that one day they have come up with one YouTube video and their subscriber count has gone up by 10 times. So I know that there's something in this video made this particular jump possible. So for example, if you're finding if you find a Sai video, the Gangnam Style guy, and you find that one video and there's a huge increase in the number of views, you understand that something is going on here. How do you get that? There's a tool called Social Blade, and this is where I have installed the extension here. But you can go and install the extension first. I have it already installed. And let us say, for example, some very big channel, for example. Can I go to, okay, I'll say Polymatter. This is a particular channel, and this is a video that they have come up with. Let me start playing. What actually happens here is,
this video is sponsored by Skillshare.
I pause it here. And here I can look at some very interesting metrics. So I get an overview. Grade is basically associate ranks into different categories based on the users that they get, subscriber count, video view ranks, and estimated monthly. although people do say that this estimated monthly income through this channel is not the correct metric, understand every other thing reasonably perfectly. So in the last 30 days, the subscriber count has increased by 20,000. Their daily subscriber average, so 667 people are subscribing to their channel every single day. Right? Daily view average is this much views in the last. So you understand, and you can create a pattern of whether more videos lead to more. You can start creating all these sort of relations between whether content is getting or not, whether new content is important, what of content can get you. So you basically want to do and develop content that gives you the highest return on investment. As simple as that, right? I clicked on that particular link and I come to this particular page. Give me a little more statistics. So YouTube stats summary about, so day wise, it gives you a very nice, interesting insight of they were roughly, so for these many days, for probably 1.5 week, the subscriber count didn't increase that much. And probably on Sunday, so the cumulative of everything 10,000 on this particular line. So by this, you understand the rate of growth of your competitor. You understand the monthly traffic that they've been getting. This is the graph in terms of video views. You want to see whether video view actually converting into subscribers or not. So this sort of analysis and analytics is up to you. But I just wanted to introduce this tool to all of you so that you can go ahead if you have some you always wanted to know how favorite YouTuber is making, how his subscriber rate is increasing. So you can always do this by having your own Excel. If you can track him every single minute of every day and you start writing down everything, you could do the same metrics. But this is for you. So at one particular point of time, you can understand how this channel is growing. And based on this, make some recommendations for ourselves so that you get an idea about what you can do going forward. Right? So I think with this, I roughly try to complete whatever I wanted to convey. I just want you to know that I said that I will also introduce. So there are a few other links or tools like AHRE, there's a SEM Rush, then there is a Backlinko, and websites like this which do what Uber Suggest does a little better. There are other variations of crayon.co. So there is, I think, Internet Archive or something. You can search for it. And see. You can explore those websites, see whether they are performing better, because all these channels for an Indian audience, some of small typically the large websites. So somebody trying, somebody has something else. So play around with these tools. And if you, for example, I think a good number of you are part of this Phoenix summer internship. So I do suggest that you can take up Phoenix Live project as something that you want to do. You take this up and then start implementing these particular things and the sessions that will come in the future. Start implementing all that to Phoenix Global as part of your live internship, and see the subscriber count grow. See how more people are coming in, the brand awareness grows, and things like that. A lot more things will be taught to you in the future. So how search engine marketing is done, that is the paid version. So these things will be taught you in the future. But for now, I expect that you've got an overview of how things work. Right? With this, I formally come to what I wanted to convey today. Thank you. If you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer if I can.
Thank you very much, Vallabh. Now the house is open for the participants to shoot their questions if they have any. You may unmute yourself and ask a question. You may also feel free to reach out to either Vallabh or info@phoenixglobal.com to post your questions at a later point of time.
Yes, if anyone of you has any doubts and they want to personally connect with me on LinkedIn or something, my name would be Vallabh Remani. So you can type that into the search bar and connect with me, giving a small personal invitation where you said that you're a part of the session so that I can understand a little more quickly. Right?
Right. Thank you very much, Vallabh, for your time and insights. I think most of the things that were covered today were not theoretical, but actually practical in nature. And most of them are definitely going to be of great use to the digital marketing interns, especially, and also the general audience, including me. I have also learned many things today from this particular session. And I hope that such sessions continue to educate our interns, and they will be of great help to also the general participants who are participating in these sessions. Thank you very much all for joining. Thank you, Valla, for your time. And let's meet sometime later. Thank you.
Thank you.